Novice Broadcast Crew, Week 3, 2021. Here's what's on the agenda for this week. Broadcast Basics Training, Interviewing Basics. Assignment number 2, the interview, and this week's to-do. So let's get started. This week we'll continue our Broadcast Basics training with Interviewing Basics. Let's take a quick look at our Interviewing Basics training video. Here it is. As part of the process of developing your broadcast or media stories, you will plan and conduct interviews with various people related to your story. These interviews will help you provide concrete evidence, variety, personality, and inclusivity to your stories. Before you start interviewing, let's take a look at some helpful guidelines for how to plan and conduct your interview. For our purposes, we'll be conducting 2 basic types of interviews: the scheduled interview and the spontaneous interview. The scheduled interview is, as its name suggests, scheduled ahead of time. Remember that being in the position of the interviewee can be challenging. Being in front of a camera, concerned about how you look, thinking about what you're saying it smoothly, and perhaps having the pressure of having to represent an entire group or organization are just some of the things your interviewee might be thinking about. The scheduled interview allows us to put our interviewee at ease by giving them time to prepare for the interview. To plan the scheduled interview, first compose an email. This is the vehicle to setting up a successful interview. Here's what your email should contain. Start with a friendly email. Hi, Dr. Ducksworth. I really enjoyed reading your article on the symbolism of ducks, migratory pattern, and TikTok algorithms. Then provide the reason for the interview. My crew would like to interview you for a media story assignment that focuses on local wildlife. Then list the interview questions. Here is a list of interview questions we would like to ask you. Then define the meeting style. Due to current guidelines, we would prefer to meet virtually via teleconferencing app. And finally, establish a date and time. How does next Monday at 10 a.m. work? This style of interview gives the interviewee plenty of time to prepare for the interview, which is likely to result in a more high-quality interview overall. The spontaneous interview, as its name suggests, happens in the moment. These are also known as person-on-the-street interviews. The purpose of this style of interview is to collect authentic, unscripted reactions from members of the group or community about a given topic. Here are 4 guidelines to keep in mind when doing this style of quick interviewing. Ask permission first. Out of courtesy for your interviewee, be sure to ask permission to interview them and to use their interview in the story that will be published for the public. Know your question. Make sure you know what you're asking people and that the question remains consistent throughout. Choose variety. Make sure you're asking people from a variety of backgrounds, age groups, opinions, etc. Focus on the big picture. If someone doesn't want to be interviewed or gives you a response that you don't think is useful, thank them and move on. Remember, the goal of the spontaneous interview is to capture a whole bunch of perspectives on a given topic. The next thing to think about as you're designing your interview is the type of interview questions you'll be asking. For our purposes, we'll focus on 2 main types of questions: closed and open questions. The closed question is quick, to the point, and easily answered. What's your name and title?
Dr. Ducksworth, ornithologist.
How old are you?
134.
What's your favorite food?
Cheese and quackers.
Are ducks carnivores or herbivores?
Trick question. They're omnivores.
See here how we get a lot of concrete information really quickly and efficiently? An effective approach is to start your interview with a series of closed questions in order to capture basic information and allow your interviewee a chance to warm up and feel comfortable. The open question tends to prompt a longer, more in-depth and thoughtful answer. Hey, Dr. Ducksworth, why are ducks important for the environment?
Ducks are feathered keepers of the wetland ecology. They eat a variety of plant seeds, then fly to different areas of the wetlands, sometimes miles from where they first ate those seeds. Then they spread those seeds over sometimes vast distances. So ducks are pivotal players in expanding biodiversity and maintaining healthy wetland ecosystems.
Follow-up questions are important to ask if your interviewee says something that either you don't understand or presents a new idea that you'd like to explore. You said ducks eat seeds. What kind of seeds do they eat? If you didn't record the interviewee's full name and title at the beginning of the interview, now is the time to do it. What's your first name, Dr. Ducksworth?
Dakota.
Dr. Dakota Ducksworth. And your title again is?
Ornithologist.
Then always be sure to thank your interviewee for their time and expertise.
Anytime.
So in this training, we learned about different types of interviews, closed and open questions, follow-up questions, attribution, and etiquette for planning and conducting interviews. See you in the next one. Now that we've established some of the basics of how to develop and conduct an effective broadcast interview, let's design one. Here's the assignment. Assignment 2, the interview. Compose an email that contains the interview plan you will use to conduct your upcoming interview. Then film your interview. Here are the steps. 1. Compose an email that includes the following. A greeting. For example, hello, Dr. Ducksworth. B, context. Hope you're doing well. I really enjoyed reading your recent article about the symbolism of ducks, migratory patterns, and TikTok algorithms. C, your request. My crew would like to interview you for a media story assignment that focuses on local wildlife. D, your interview questions. Here's a list of interview questions we would like to ask you. You'll break this down by closed and open questions. First closed. 1, what's your name and title? 2, what's your favorite food? Now your open questions. 1, why are ducks important to the environment? And 2, what species of ducks are native to Illinois? E, your meeting style. Due to our current guidelines, we would prefer to meet virtually via a teleconferencing app. F, establish a date and time. How does next Monday at 10 a.m. sound? Then number 2, conduct the interview. Using your mobile device, film your interview. Now don't worry too much about composition, lighting, video quality, or audio quality. We'll get to that in our next module. And 3, submit both your written email and unedited interview footage via Canvas. Would it help to see some examples of interviews in real media stories? Well, I've included some examples of student-produced media stories in this assignment. Watching these completed videos will give you a sense of what effective interviewing looks like in final media stories. So what do we have to do? 1, your interview email. This will be 20 points. And 2, your unedited interview footage. This will be another 20 points. When is this all due? That's right, the last day of the school week, Friday, January 22nd by 11:59 p.m. Next week, novices will further develop our media stories by capturing footage and editing it into a final media story. Well, we'll see you in virtual class. In the meantime, stay safe, stay focused, and stay connected.